6ix9ine crashes out on Young Thug.
No, I just want to know where all the energy at. The Young Thug situation, I stood quiet 2 days just watching it play out. You spoke for 2 hours. 2 hours.
Now, 6ix9ine is a name a lot of people haven't heard in a while. His name was everywhere a few years ago, but after his incarceration, the trial, the release, and the headlines about snitching, things started to go the other way.
6ix9ine's run in 2018 to like 2020, he was the king of New York, literally. King of the world, damn near, with his music.
In early August 2020, during the pandemic, he eventually got out, dropped a whole lot of music, but things went quiet on his end. The last time we spoke about 6ix9ine was when the US government seized a bunch of his assets for unpaid back taxes. And now he's back crashing out on a rap game, specifically on Atlanta rapper Young Thug, who recently got caught up in snitching allegations due to his cooperation with the police. Now yesterday, 6ix9ine posted a video on his Instagram story calling out the rap game. But he had some things specifically to say about Young Thug, who's been making headlines after an interrogation leaked where he was very chatty with the police, okay? Thug was definitely a chatty patty. The whole situation is shaking up the street side of hip-hop, and one thing a lot of people are pointing out is the hypocrisy of, the so-called street code. It always seems to apply when it's about selling an image, but when real life hits you in the face and you're in that interrogation room, maybe not so much, right?
Yo, I just want to know where all the energy at. The Young Thug situation, I stood quiet 2 days just watching it play out. Watching what excuses the people come up with. Every day, every year, every time a nigga come out,
it's not looking good.
Further. Oh, nah, bro, it's different. No,
you need to shut up, though, 6ix9ine, too, because you're Mexican, bro. What did you do the moment you got out of jail? And you know what I'm saying? You use the rap game. You use Black African-American culture to build an image. And the moment you snitched, because yes, you did snitch, and you told, and we didn't accept you no more as, a rap community. The first thing you did is go to the Dominicans. I remember even in music videos when 6ix9ine was giving back to the poor and homeless, he wasn't giving back to Black people, let alone in New York. He went to the Dominican Republic or wherever this nigga's from, and he gave back to those people. So you've never been for us. So like, yeah, of course we're going to be more lenient with people that actually look like us and we actually like, versus you, who's a minority, who's coming in our game and is using it to build an image. And whenever it doesn't suit you anymore, you snitch, or you just switch codes and you go to your actual race and your actual culture. So I think this is a dumb take kind of too, because like, nigga, you never was for us, so why would we be for you? And why would we hold them to the same standard we hold you to as an outsider? You're an outsider, gang.
It's different, bro. It's different. You told.
It's like he's mad, but it's like, bro, you snitch. Like, if you snitch, you shouldn't be mad at nobody else for snitching or whatever happens to them. You snitch. Focus on yourself. This is so corny. And then he tagging niggas too. That's so corny.
Before 12 in the afternoon, like, that's a forbidden rule. You can't do that. No, bro, it's okay, bro, because he told after 3, like, bro, it's so easy. They tell you have the right to remain silent. Anything used against you could be used in the court of law, whatever the case they say. You have the right to call an attorney right now. You spoke for 2 hours. 2 hours. It's me beating a horse. Like, I'm not saying that. Y'all heard what y'all heard. Where's all the energy at? Why hear everybody quiet? Why Lil Baby, 21 Savage, Future? Why you not saying nothing? And I'm gonna leave this shit real clear. Me, I do not give a f. I don't care. I don't give a f. Since I came home, y'all know it. I wore my shit from day one. Yeah, I did it in what? I'm outside. Y'all know I'm outside.
So as you could hear, he did it.
Man, shut up, 6ix9ine. You got beat up in a gym bathroom, gang, looking like a girl on a walk of shame from a hookup in a college party, gang, walking with some booty shorts, only socks with a lace front, bro. Come on, bro. Shut up.
Ask a very good question, which is, where is all the energy for Young Thug, who now has these allegations over his name? Atlanta rapper Gunna, who used to be a part of Thug's YSL crew, was someone who got a lot of pushback and criticism from rappers for taking that Alfred plea deal back in 2022. And Thug, like a lot of other rappers, has been very vocal about his disdain for the concept of cooperating with the feds, and aimed at criticism towards rappers in general, but specifically Gunna. Now, 6ix9ine is someone who's always been defined by two things: his antics and his cooperation. For anyone who doesn't know, 6ix9ine used to roll with a gang called 9 Trey Bloods. That was his way of gaining protection, but also credibility from the streets. Rolling with real gang members made his image believable, and he was able to use it to his advantage by selling records. But like always, when you mix rap with the streets, things eventually take up.
Yeah, he used the culture to gain some credibility, some relevancy. He used the culture, Black culture, Whether it's good or not, that's part of culture. That's not our culture as a whole, but that's part of our culture, African American culture. He took that and used it to gain relevancy, street cred, and build a career. And the moment it wasn't working for him anymore, the moment he realized, like, hey, I don't know if I'm really down with all this, he snitched on it. And whenever he realized he couldn't just come back and act like nothing happened because he just snitched on a bunch of black people, regardless of whatever, he just went straight to being Dominican. So yeah, like shut up, 6ix9ine. Dominicans, stay over there with them Dominicans, man.
Turn for the worse, which it did. At the height of his career in November 2018, it all came crashing down. Tekashi and a few of his close associates were taken down in a massive federal.
We found out he really wasn't like that. Most, especially the light-skinned like rappers, like the Central Season stuff, you'll find out a lot of them are not like that. They're like, but honestly, I can't even say that. I just think most people in general would do what 6ix9ine did. But I just find it so funny. Like somebody who's a quote unquote, like, cause it'd have been different if like he still stayed down with black culture. But the moment he saw certain people wasn't going to accept him because of that snitching thing, he instantly turned Dominican. Every time I've seen him give back to like the needy or unfortunate, it's never been black people or black kids growing up in New York from the same projects he's from. It's always Dominicans. Or as soon as black stuff's not working, he goes straight Dominican, the same way Post Malone, whenever he got what he needed from the culture and built a solid career with us as his launch pad, he switched to country. That's what they always do. They take our culture and use it, and when they can't use it no more, then they go back, then they go to do what they actually really are. We see who they play their real hands when they get under pressure. So,
The rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine, whose real name is Daniel Hernandez, appeared in federal court for sentencing stemming from a gang racketeering trial. Hernandez pleaded guilty and provided extraordinary cooperation to federal prosecutors that enabled the takedown of the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods gang.
ATF agents, NYPD, Homeland Security, all moving in at once. What made it crazier was the timing, because just a week before, 6ix9ine sat down on the Breakfast Club and said that the only 2 things he feared were God and the FBI.
One thing I fear in life, no, 2 things, God first and the FBI.
And then within days, the FBI actually showed up at his door. After his release, however, 6ix9ine's career wasn't the same. Getting the same type of buzz he once had was impossible for him, and his name hasn't been in the conversation anymore. He also became blackballed from the street side of hip-hop after his cooperation with the authorities, and a lot of people have stood firm on the fact that he shouldn't get any support due to that. Now for 6ix9ine, there were some aspects that came into play, like his own gang actually turned on him, which was a big part of the reason why he testified in the first place. Back in the summer of 2018, he was kidnapped by members of the very same...
Let's look at 6ix9ine's latest music. Let's Hana. He's not even speaking English. He's not. Okay, maybe he still is a little bit rap. Never mind. He might, but nah. See, then you got random shit like this. See, who and what the fuck is that? Who and what the fuck is that? But bro, 6ix9ine had a freaking run, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all. He did have a run. His most popular song, I don't even think is a rap song, is it? It's some Dominican DR shit. Yeah. He had a run though, man. He did have a good run before he snitched. If only he would have just... I don't even know what you're supposed to do in this situation, honestly. But I don't know. I just don't like people using black culture until it doesn't suit them anymore, and then they ditch it and throw everybody under the bus.
Same crew he was rolling with. At gunpoint, he was forced into a stolen car. From there, they drove him around the city, stopping every so often just to beat him up and taunt him while he begged for his life. And 6ix9ine is one of the only rappers in history who's had the entire street side of hip-hop turn their back on him completely. I mean, rappers were extremely vocal about him snitching. Everywhere you turn, there was somebody saying something about it. And now we have Young Thug, who's in the same exact situation. And 6ix9ine is pointing out that the hypocrisy is very loud. If you haven't been paying attention, there's been a lot of people coming out in support of Young Thug. And I'm talking about in the rap industry. A lot of the same people who's had a very strong stance against the so-called no snitching code
like
have all been trying to bend the rules. Because Thug has a lot of influence in the game, and a lot of these people want to be on his good side. And 6ix9ine is getting a lot of attention for speaking his mind in this manner, and he's of course getting some pushback to what he said. His reputation overall has never been great in hip-hop in general, and Thug is a rapper who's very liked in general. I do believe that 6ix9ine is the wrong messenger here because he was caught up in the same scenario, and I'm sure we can all agree. that the issue with 6ix9ine goes way deeper than just snitching. I personally never cared too much about it. Sure, he was trying to sell an image and pretend like he was about it, but then again, that wasn't very hard to decipher. And for this particular story, I actually do agree with 6ix9ine. It's honestly sad that there's so many grown men who could be doing so much more in this world instead of worrying about and trying to enforce a so-called street code that doesn't exist at all. Personally, I feel like street culture and hip-hop overall is eventually gonna die down. And as a matter of fact, I personally think it's heading that way. People are way smarter these days, and they can tell when someone is faking the funk, because 99% of the rappers in the game are actors. And I'm talking about the street rappers, because you can't be a famous gangbanger and
unless you're a street dude, half the time you can't tell. I'm not a street dude, so half the time I can't even tell. So some of the most wholesomest guys be street dudes, and some of the most hardest don't even. You can't tell. Let's not act like we can. We can't
get away with committing crimes. It eventually catches up to you, and we've seen that in so many scenarios on hip-hop. Part of the reason why people have been attracted to that type of image, especially in the past, is because there's always been a little bit of a question mark.
This just shows when you're rich, you can really genuinely do whatever the fuck you want, bro. I saw Kanye West wear some football pads and socks with no shoes, looking like a crackhead nigga who got some clothes out the lost and founds, and niggas ate that shit up. This nigga be wearing dresses and kilts and fucking preparatory shirts and gowns and shit, and niggas be saying that shit hard. And like nobody, it's like, it's not bummy, it's not trash, it's not because he's rich and he got clout, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, the richer and more famous I get, I'm finna start wearing. I'm not trying at all when I dress, and because I know niggas is gonna dick ride it regardless, bro. I'm gonna wear the most basic Walmart-esque type fit, and niggas gonna eat it up. Cause come on, bro.
Do everything they're talking about, and that question, dude? I believe created.
Hey, bro, you add a chain. Don't let a nigga add a Cuban or like a pendant to it. Now it's instantly that fits hard. Don't let a nigga add a chain to it though, or a rollie. You know, it's hard at that point. There's nothing you can do.
The intrigue in itself. It's almost like watching an action movie, and you don't know if it's based on a real story. And it keeps you playing out a lot of the scenarios that you're seeing on the screen in real life. That's why guys like King Von, especially after his death, became so popular. Killer, though. Everything about his demeanor, everything about his energy screamed, I did that. But then again, how much of who Von was an act? That's another conversation for another day.
Nah, now, I think Von was really with it, bro. But like, that's the thing though too. Rappers want to be street niggas, and street niggas want to be rappers. Streamers want to be rappers, and low-key rappers are starting to want to be streamers. Everybody wants to be everybody except themselves. Everybody wants to swerve in everybody else's lane except their own. But little do you know, if you just stayed in your lane, kept a steady pace driving in your own lane, you wouldn't be crashing like 6ix9ine. You wouldn't be crashing like whoever else. If you just stayed in your lane and just drove your lane. Smooth sailing. But everybody want to get in everybody else's lane to be like, I see how fast they going, I see how raw they look in their lane, let me turn lanes. Nah, bro, stay where you at, you straight.
The gag is up, okay? And people know better than to believe fictional stories about all the crimes you committed. And once in a blue moon, you do hear about some people who are very dumb enough to put actual crimes they've committed in the music. And that's when the social media department of the police get alerted. And there we go with all those football numbers again. I know a lot of people don't like 6ix9ine, but can you really blame him? He's not only gotten blackballed from the rap game, but people dragged his name through the mud for years and called him a snitch.
Yeah,
they called him a rat, all types of names, which he technically is, right, like a snitch. However, when someone everybody loves ends up being in the same scenario, suddenly people are trying to change the rules of the game. Why? Because people love being selective. And that's what 6ix9ine is obviously seeing. You can't fault him for speaking on it, because again, all these guys dragged him through the mud and dropped all kind of rat emojis in his comments. And all he's saying is, hey, let's keep the energy consistent here. Can we do that? And that's a message he's sharing with the street side of him.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Good video by Blackies. Pretty much mind your own business and don't tell somebody they need to clean up their house when you got dirt under your bed as well.